kid, you were the dude who was saying stuff, but you agree to it, and then you had your fingers crossed behind your back, didn't you?
Never.
You idiot. I had my fingers crossed.
No, you know who I am? I'm the guy who will, if you had your fingers crossed, I'll, like, basically
take me to court.
Yeah, I'll take you to court. The 11-year-old defendant, how do you
Mom,
plead?
I need to sue Johnny.
Not guilty.
He had his fingers crossed, and I didn't get his lollipop.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, you know, when you're a kid, you do a lot for a lollipop.
That's true. Especially green apple.
Yeah.
Definitely the best lollipop.
Caramel green apple, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bro, those were delicious. Dropping in hot here, Chappie and Ninja. Chappie already chicken. This has got to hurt. Ninja, Chappie already a 50 score, and Ninja has to have an incredible round. We will stay tuned with him as I'm sure he's making his way away, but it's Forsen who cleans him up. That was absolutely the worst situation possible for them, because that's basically a positive 25, 26.
That really hurts. I mean, they were front page, Jeff. They were at 8th place. This is going to put them pretty far back in the leaderboards for sure. They're going to need to take probably, obviously if this one's out, they need to win probably 2 of the last 3 if they want to have a shot.
Why are they dropping here, too, is really my question.
Well, look at the map. I mean, this doesn't look like an assuming place. How did 3 teams end up dropping northwest of Jaguar's Claws?
And
I mean, this is what you get in these sorts of competitions where normally you'd expect a ton of action at Trinity Hills, at Crossing, at Northport. Instead, it's all happening in these little tiny areas where there isn't nearly as much loot to go around.
And I think that's why you see people who drop Northport and drop, you know, into the fungal forest or drop into the Forbidden Swamp, because there's a lot of loot. You're always going to get a gun, and you can hide out. That's the thing. You're seeing a lot of players there.
Okay, if you're playing in next week's tournaments, drop the Badlands, because no one has gone there. In the last 17 rounds, we've passed it. But who cares? There's no one there.
It takes so long.
You got time, my guy, when no one is dropping with you. Instead, these guys are trying to drop it in these little unnamed towns. You know, oh, yeah, let's go to the town northwest of Jaguar's Claws. No chance any. Why are there 4 teams here?
Why are there 4 teams here?
What is going on? Instead, you can go to Northport and, you know, talk about what you're going to do this week while you're getting all the loot in the world.
I mean, you're right. Tab out, Netflix, and chill.
Get ready, man.
Netflix and loot at that point.
Seriously.
Koa stays alive, which is big for him and Forsen. Koa's been so good at doing this, because yesterday we saw it, today we've seen it. Being in the last circle and having a chance to fight and take some eliminations and have a negative score is great. The all-in from Ninja and Chappie doesn't go well, so we'll stay tuned with that. This is round 7, and there's still 3 more after this, so, you know, it can be done. It's looking a little harder. But let's check in with some of the leaders here. Adelaide and DeFran already 2 elims.
This is it. They drop Lumber Fall, and now they're getting to Forge. Because they have enough shards. They only have an elim apiece, but they have enough shards from that kill and from all the farm around them to start forging up. And they get 3 legendary forges, whether that's armor or class weapons or a combination of each.
Yeah. They're
going to be in a much more advantageous spot against whoever has the unfortunate luck to go up against them now.
And I mean, you're going to start to see towards round, 7, 8, and 9, 8, 9, and 10, people being much more conservative with their drops. So, 2 eliminations, but no one else was in Lumberfall, Ryan. So I don't think many people are dropping big zones right now, knowing they don't want to risk what happened to Ninja and Chappie happening to them. They'd much rather give themselves a chance to hide in a Forbidden Swamp, get some loot, and he's going to give up the net shot there. Although it's epic tier, a lot of warriors do not prefer that. It's the shield potion, the charge, and the heroic leap that you put together, and Simply High confident in his decision.
Well, it's not only that they prefer that style of ability loadout, but it's also that you get more shards for disenchanting something of a higher rarity. So
yeah, that's true.
Instead of disenchanting a common ability for 5 shards, you're getting quadruple that out of disenchanting an epic net shot that you really don't get that much value out of anyways. So I think that not only is it economically viable, but also just makes sense for his playstyle.
And now Incon going into the Ghost Walk. XQC's here. Can he make some big plays happen? Maybe ruin Incon and Lassus's day? Mira has been seen, as our Spanish friends will know, both ways of the word. And Lassus will try to find a corner here and put Mira down the scope. Mira running up the stairs, and now Incon may be isolated, so Lassus has to make a move. Nice charge.
Nice charge.
Nice kill.
Really, really nice. Remember, charge, not just a mobility option, but a damage option as well. Last going to throw a healing pot on top of him and Incon, and then take care of XQC.
Yikes.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
We've had a couple of good XQC ones. I don't like just seeing him go down. I think that's the only time we cut to him.
I know. It's been
a
unfortunate
rough,
for him
yeah.
so far. Has not been able to put on the show that I think he was and his fans were really hoping for. But that's the beauty of having multiple tournaments, man. This isn't a one and done. You know, come back next week.
The amount of people that hopped on today who are playing in this and haven't played in a week or two, a couple weeks for whatever reasons, travel, just caught up in other games. You mentioned Summit going on that single-player game tear. A lot of these guys and girls, I think, are going to say, you know what? For next week, I think I'm going to play a little bit more this week and make sure that I'm that I'm ready for that 100K. Because someone's walking away with $50,000 in their pocket. If I'm overpowered in Sony, do you think you split that evenly?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, look,
overpowered doesn't get like an extra 1,000.
All right, maybe I give him a couple extra bucks just as a nice
you
gesture.
Tip him. You tip him.
Yeah, the tip. Yeah, exactly. Yo, thanks, dog.
Yeah. Thank you for that, like, 9 elim 1v5 you did to basically put us in this position right now.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
You the real MVP.
I mean, you got 25 of them. Why not give away 1G? That shows a nice little measure of abundance, I think.
Yeah, Summit's already in this game. Summit 1G, that's the joke.
That is the joke. It might have gone over some people's heads. Definitely not mine.
Good, I just wanted to make sure.
Not mine.
You all right?
Hey, can you guys not put the vocoder on while I'm actually talking?
Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah.
They
wow,
turned
it's
it way up.
Ev, we're only in round 7, homie. You got to keep it together, dude. We still got some more to go. Don't leave me now.
I would never leave you, Ryan.
Thank you, man.
And Shroud seems like he's very, very happy to abandon any opportunity of winning this game. And this is going to be big. Simply High and Kefri, who are now closing in on that, lead and maybe trying to extend a lead here. Finding Shroud and Jatobo on the backside, and this is going to be really horrendous for their opportunity. Shroud and Jatobo, big names here, going down early.
Kefri had 4 Crown Royales yesterday, and his 10K Invitational victory alongside Bird has already gotten 2 underneath his belt today. With 4 more to go, only has to win half of those. Easy, right?
Yeah, easy, no problem. I think Kefri is also, killing Shroud and Jatobo there, that's going to hurt mentally for Shroud and Jatobo because these guys are competitive. They're so good at their games. They don't lose very often, but they know who Kefri is. They know he's in the leaderboards. They know what this team is doing, and they know it just happened to them. I think that's going to be a whole nother level of determination next round when they get another shot at it. And I'm sure a lot of the streamers who have finished off are watching the stream and saying, man, just get me back in there.
Cool under some problems right now because got a team to their right, though, unbeknownst to the Hunter, who is really hurting for farm at this point, has not been able to get an elimination. Teammate has already fallen as well and is rocking just 3 common armor pieces.
I mean, this story is about how I think Michael and Diz maybe find Cool here, but we know Cool is not doing much. He's got a white weapon, 3 pieces out of 4 of possible armor. He's not one that I would pay attention to until maybe the final circle, if he can make it there. Simply High and Kefri, though, closing in near Summit, and I believe Last is an Incon are close by as well.
Some forging going on here, though, pretty close by, so you can hear it ringing. Is that Summit who's cooking it up there? I don't know.
Well, it's Kefri inside.
Oh, it's Kefri who's
cooking it up, but Last is an Incon are outside, and so is Summit. Summit and Josh actually look like they may be running away. These are the 4th and 5th place teams, and now Summit and Josh hear the shot, so they know at least 2 teams are there. They want to poach off this fight. They're staying on the high ground, Ryan. And Incon and Last is actually, after shooting, backing off as well. 3
elims for Team 3 so far, and they're going to try and take a little bit of a wider option, but yeah, spotted out by those on the hill. That is Summit and JoshOG, if I remember correctly, so they have the good spot. Indeed, it is. Now, no elims for them quite yet. Josh backing it up towards the right. Summit a little bit lagging behind in that regard, but soon to join his teammate. Both teams, Lassus Incon and Summit and Josh, end up leaving Kefri to just take the Forge, to just take it away alongside Simply High.
And Simply High and Kefri so confident after their multiple wins today. They're really one of the only teams we see actively forging quite often. We know Josh and Summit do forge as well, but this has been more of a patient game from them. 0 elims, knowing that they're trying to stay competitive in this round and maybe pick some up a little bit later. But let's take a look at Overpowered, the 3rd place team here with Sony. No elims as well. Possibly getting their forge on, or just hiding.
No, they're just hiding it out. They don't want to alert everyone to let them know they're here. Now, remember, these two teams...
All the teams around them.
Yeah.
Like one dude.
The one dude. Those two played yesterday and had a lot of success, nearly brought it into that top 3, just had 1 or 2 rough rounds that kind of kept them out of that money sort of spot. So they saw what some of the teams were doing yesterday. Of course, that third-place team.
Damian Karaz cosplay.
Damian Karaz. They're doing their best sort of impersonation, and very much like them, has found a good spot inside the circle to set up shop.
Now, isn't this a weird thing for a third-place team, though? I mean, they're really trying to make sure they don't get out of third place.
Yeah, I don't love it. It feels a little bit weird to place that slow to no elims, but you're kind of waiting. Maybe they're just waiting to hear something in their town. Won't necessarily force them to come into the Forge, though you can make that happen. I don't know. I agree with you. I think that it's been proven that if you can, getting into later rounds, yes, will get you onto the front page. But who cares about front page? You need to be making some money out here, and elims are what get you there.
Glasses and Incon versus Defran and Adelaide. This is a fight we've seen multiple times. Last time it went the way of Defran, but a concussion bomb starts things off the right way for Laz and Incon, and Defran missing that shot is going to be very nice. They now know he's toward the southwest of the building, but the fog is moving in, and this is actually very, very interesting. It just moved into right where they were, so no more. But it did take a little bit of the armor away, about 100, and it's going to give Incon and Lassus a little bit of room to operate.
Fog coming in, and I don't know that they know exactly where Defran left to alongside Adelaide, but with that fog coming in, they did decide to ditch that, allowing Lassus and Incon to pick up their spoils from the Forge.
Yeah, and they were lucky, too, because once it moved, it could have gone a little farther. They just were not paying attention to it. We got a minute and 17 before the circle starts to move one more time, and obviously it will end on Northport. So it seems like Sony and Overpowered made a nice gamble, and Imtashed and Stone Mountain saying, hey, we saw the strategy. We know what's working, so we're going to work it ourselves. Lupo and Ruski, they are set for a big game here. 2 legendary armor pieces apiece, and some epic weapons to boot. Not the best of abilities, though, Ryan, for Lupo.
Has the kind of loadout that you're looking for, just all of the common variety.
Exactly.
Concussion bomb and smoke screen, very nice for assassins. Just need on a lower cooldown, maybe a little bit more damage on top of that. Is Northport not only getting the circle around it, but receiving that drop. See if anyone's brave enough to wander out into the open to open it up.
Dash, maybe here's some noise. Kane, cool. I told you not much is happening with him, but still following along with his story.
Oh,
it's nothing wrong. I'm fine. I like what he's doing. I just know that nothing's going to be happening with him. That is 100%. His strategy is just to survive right now. And Choco Bar's probably thinking the same thing, but he may not have a chance, right? He's got Void, and I think Synergy right next to him. But they're going to pass on.
For now, but Circle's coming in. Circle's coming in. The fog going to start closing in around this old manor and force everyone closer towards Northport. Team 15 lagging a bit behind, but there is enough distance now between them and that solo player that was hiding out that shouldn't be spotted out. I believe that was Choco Bar sitting in that old haven as Simply High and Kefri arrive. Top 4 right now in the standings, and 4 eliminations for them thus far.
And we got quite a homeowners association meeting right now, Ryan. And Jari and Joe Fudge. This is a team with 2 eliminations now and have been doing a good job of holding their ground towards the later end of these fights. Not big kill games, but you know what? If you make it to the top 10, you have a chance. But with such a small circle,
21
and 20 still alive, you know something's going to happen. And here it is. Incon actually killing Adelaide there, and Defran taking down Lassus. So with the death fog, you can expect that maybe Lassus got caught up in a bad spot. Maybe Incon and now Defran working as the fog is moving in. And who's going to get the better shot here, Ryan? And what attention is this going to attract from the others?
Incon definitely first one into the circle, if that is Defran towards that left side. Team number 16, potentially. Incon is searching for him, and instead we'll find a little bit of healing inside that building. Defran sticking out in the open here, but using a rock for cover, understanding that there's no one to his left. That's the direction that he came from. Just has to protect himself from that right side.
And Dyrus, who was in the barn, actually finds the kill onto Jari and to Joe. And so this is a very, very nice turn of events for him because they had to move into the fog. They had to move into the barn. They thought that was safe. And what have we talked about with, men in barns that you don't know?
I don't know, man. I'm tapped out on the barn subject. Maybe
you
we can move on to Matt Barnes.
Yeah,
his
or Barnes
NBA
and Noble.
career.
Well, you know, I think
I was always kind of a Borders guy.
you've got to be kidding me.
No, I had a really nice Borders not far from me.
Hey,
where
I had a
grew
nice
up.
Borders too, but I mean,
obviously Barnes and Noble ended up being superior. I just mean I want to pour one out for my Borders homies.
yeah, I will pour one out for Borders. There was one I remember on like Cahuenga or Canoga or something. LA native here, so
Yeah, I was like, what are you saying to me right now?
sounds like a different language, doesn't it? But yeah, it was a good store, and the gentlemen here definitely have a bit of time to reminisce
do
about
some
Borders, to do some
potentially, yeah.
reading.
Hopefully they picked up enough books on their last trip there.
I mean, I think they finished the Stormlight Archive Book 3 Oathbringer at this point.
I'm on Stormlight Archive Book 2 right now.
Yeah, but Oathbringer is huge, brother. And
Is it?
welcome to the series.
Man, it is so good. I can't put it down.
Kaladin.
I
Dalinar.
really thought about reading during this cast. I was like, can I get away with this? It's kind of Realm-esque, right?
No, it's so good.
It's real
And
good.
if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, check it out. It is incredible.
I just feel smarter when I read, you know? It makes me feel more worldly. Like I'm not just wasting away watching Parks and Rec for the 30th time.
like these guys have the opportunity to do?
Yeah, I mean, you could have easily gotten through part 1 if you're Sony and overpowered in this game, dude.
Part 1, Shallan, Dalinar, Kaladin, and Adolin.
Exactly. You have the opportunity to really get into the meat of a good book at this point.
Absolutely, no doubt. And this kind of port reminds me of one of the areas that they actually are in that book. But neither
No
here,
spoilers.
No there, nor there. We'll take a look back with Kefri and Simply High. Northport is very much similar to Trinity Hills, where you can have a lot of people and they will not know where the other people are. And as we see here, Madruski, Dr. Lupo playing hide and seek
home?
in the same building. Who will move first? It seems to be Madruski and Lupo. This exact squad met before. Who's going to come out on top this time? Concussion bomb is missed as they go back up the stairs.
Dr. Lupo now, the fight spills out into the streets as Dr. Lupo takes back second floor, plays it slow a little bit as M-Tash now spotted out, Stone Mountain. This is where these 17-player circles can start to explode. Space Lion's getting into it. Overpowered is able to take down Simply High.
That's big.
As now the team duo is starting to fall apart a little bit.
But does it even matter if Kefri's still alive? I mean, if Kefri's alive, like, you know, he can easily win this game. I don't care who you are. Ruski and Lupo holding down the staircase in this house. They hear some firing over to the left side, and a firebomb goes in as well. So they know somebody to be careful of. K and Cool, as we mentioned before, just keeping it cool. Dyrus on the low ground, Kefri in another building towards his west, and Inkot actually fighting outside, trying to get this kill for him, and Lasses, but it's Defran who finds it, even though Adelaide is gone. Choco Bars has a shot. Is he going to take it?
Got to take that
Come
shot.
on.
He's so low. Peek! Yes, he got him. Okay, Choco Bars has a chance to get their first elim of this game.
That's big.
This guy's toast.
Dude, this is Defran. There's 15 people alive. This is potentially a possible.
Lost him.
What are you doing?
Lost him.
Oh, no.
Lost him.
Oh, chat.
Not like this.
Not
Can
like
I get
this.
a not like this in the chat?
And the whole lobby is like, what? When the whole lobby watches
and Defran's
this back,
like, all right, am I alive?
is he really not going to try to kill me? And
Oh,
Defran's
Defran
back
rezzes.
alive.
Now has to take that 1v1, though. Choco Bars sneak it up on the bush. Concussion bomb. Snipe is off from Defran. Reload not necessary because that legendary burst. Defran blink is good. Explosive flask blocked by the rock. Defran 1 HP.
Got him.
And Choco Bar is going to take it down this time. Feels birthday man for Choco Bars.
And you know what? We've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was an 8th place at least that he fell. And that is actually going to be really good. K and Cool until Jake just kept it cool and then eventually just died. Didn't have the great gear to compete at this level. But Void and Space Lion, I think, can do something. We saw them have a really excellent performance in one of the earlier rounds. Void and his teammate alive. Stone Mountain 64 and M-Tash again in a final circle. And none other than Kefri, Dr. Lupo and Mad Ruski. Maybe they can get a little bit of Mad.
name.
Exactly. If they can find this kill, but Ruski takes the fall, so does Lupo. And now Sony moving in with Overpowered.
Overpowered and Sony have been here all this time. Home field advantage for these two as the fog comes in and does a ton of damage to just about every team remaining. This is going to start closing out pretty quickly. We went from 10 to 6 players remaining in just the blink of an eye. But Dyrus and Void among them, both really, really close to one another.
And I think Imtashed fell.
6 elims for Dyrus, so just one more elim or someone else dying would mean at least a negative score for that team.
Well, he's got it
desperately
now.
needed one.
He's got it now because there's less player. I mean, there's more players than there are in terms of
oh, true.
obviously
teams.
teams.
Yeah, you're right.
So he should have it secured, at least a -1, I believe, as there are 5 teams. But he's a part of them, so at least a -2, I think. Void hiding in the corner. Dyrus right next to him, but doesn't know it. Maybe trying to move preemptively or just be mounted so that he can move faster if he does start to get some aggression. Sony and Overpowered, the only duo left alive.
Void and Dyrus right next to one another, and Dyrus could actually take a little bit of a risk, go through the fog, and then charge out and try and catch Void by surprise. But look at how Void, he's kind of positioned as if that's a possibility in his mind. He has that in the back of his mind. Stone Mountain right there. Dyrus didn't quite see him hiding behind that tree.
Telling you what, these
you better
men,
have eagle
these
eyes,
women,
man.
They are fighting for something that is life-changing right now. $25,000 today. Like you mentioned, that could be student loans out the window. That could be maybe a down payment on a new house. This is a big deal. So you say, hey,
this could be a 48 monitor setup.
Yeah, this could be the dream setup here. And we could have Steve Jobs and Bill Gates jealous of all the technology we have, especially if you get this prize money. But there's a lot to be done. Kefri gets exposed early. That's not what he wanted. Dyrus seems to know that Void is there. He's going to try and take the fight, but Void does a great job. Protection as far as the bubble.
Nice axe.
And he misses the shot, but he gets the last one. Maybe can he get another one? Void, great job to finish it off, and he finds the elimination as well. It's Stone Mountain and Sony. Overpowered has taken a fall, and Sony and Void. This is the time to push. You have to go get this one, but he is going to wait it out and let Sony potentially heal, but I don't think Sony has it. Void starting to push, jumps in, Ryan. The charge, it's one more shot away.
He got him.
And Void